Alright, today's lesson 129 is on mental math, the four basic operations, which would be adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. And we're going to work through, there's a couple different steps or different ways that they get you to do mental math. And I would like you to use exactly whatever they ask you to do in the directions in the lesson. So the first one we have is adding mentally. And that one is pretty basic. So they simply want you to go like this. 135 plus 78. They basically want you to think 135 plus 70. So you add this 20 with your 5, and then they want you to add the 8 to 13. Okay? That's the answer. So basically they want you to take a number 135 plus 78. Forget about this digit. Go 70. So add the 13 and the 7, so it's 205. And then you add the 8. So 205 plus 8 is 213. So you'll basically break it down into adding this and then adding this. This way you'll never, I shouldn't say that. Let's just do another one like that out of your lesson. So in number 2 in your lesson, you have 137 plus 67. So you'll go 137 plus 60 is 197. Don't write any of this down. You're supposed to do this in your head. And then 197, add your 7, and you should think 204. So this is 14. Add 1 to your 19, that makes it 20. So 204. And that will be the answer for number 2. Hopefully that makes sense how to do that. You always want to start on the left and do that first digit and then come to the right and get the ones place. Then we have subtracting mentally, and same thing again. So we're going to take 218 minus 46. So you're going to think 218 minus 40. So you'll take 21 minus 40. You should know, should be able to do 21 minus 40 in your head. That's 17. You just leave the 8. And then you subtract the 6 that we had in here. And that should get you to 172. Alright. Let's do one of those out of your lesson as well. So I'm going to go to part B, number 8. So we have 115 minus 67. So you think 115 minus 60. So 11 minus 6 is 5, and just drop your 5. And then you have 55, and you still have the 7 left. So your 55 minus 7, it would be 48. All right, I'm writing these things down, but you'll be doing it in your head. All right, then we get into multiplying and dividing. Now there's going to be a couple options here. There's a couple ways to do it, and let's just show you here what they're doing with this. So they have 8 times 328. So for this, again, you work from the left. They want you to take 8 times 300. So in your head you think 2400. 8 times 20. In your head you think 160. And then 8 times 8 is 64. So in your head, I should be adding these as we go. 25, 60, 64 would be 26, 24. This is probably going to be the hardest of any of the things they're going to have you do. So basically how it works, in your head you think, so 8 times 328. 8 times 300 is 2400. So you need to remember 2400. Then 8 times 20 is 160. So 2400 plus 160 is 2560. And then you think 8 times 8 is 64. So 2560 plus 64. And even there you can break it down into 2 yet if you want. So you could go 2560 plus 60 would be 2660 plus 4 would be, I mean, it would be 2620 plus 4 would be 2624. Again, just that's probably going to be the hardest operation that they teach you in this whole lesson. Let me just go back here. Part C. Let's go with, well, they don't make any that big. So let's go with 7 times 46. So here we go. 7 times 40 is 280. You should think in your head, 280. And 7 times 6 is 42. So 280 plus 42 is 322. All right. Now, there is another couple easy ones actually when multiplying. So if there is a shortcut you can use when multiplying, please do it. It will help a lot. So if anything is a multiple of 10, so if you have something like 60 times 12, you'll take 60. We'll just take 6 times 12, which is 72, and then add your 0. All right, makes it 720. So anything that's a multiple of 10, you can simply take this number times this number and then add your 0. So if you would have 70 times, let's say 11, you would just take this 77, add your 0, and you have 770. Let me show you why that works. So if you take it times 70, 0, 7, 7. All right. So if you have any multiples of 10, don't try to go 60 times 10 and 60 times 2. Please use the shortcut. It will help you a lot. This also works if you have more. So if you would have 300 times 12, you simply go 3 times 12, which is 36, and then add your 2 zeros, and you have 3600. All right. So if you see those zeros and it's multiplication, please take the shortcut. Then the other option is when you multiply, if you double and double or divide and divide, no, double and divide. Sorry, I'm getting ahead to dividing. So basically how this works is if 2 times 4 is 8, then if you multiply this, let's use a different number. That was too simple. Let's say you have 12 times 9. Okay, that's 84. Well, if you would take this times 3, make it 36, and divide this by 3, which is 3. Sorry, 12 times 9 is not 84. It's 108. Alright, this also comes out to 108. Or the other way, if you would divide this one by 3 and make it 4, and take this one times 3 and make it 27, that also comes out to 108. Alright, so what you're going to look for is when it says do this multiplication mentally, you're going to quickly look at it and see if you see anything that would make one of the numbers come down to a single digit, and it will make it easier. For instance, if you have 14 times 18, that's going to be kind of hard to go 14 times 10, 14 times 8. You can do it, but you can look at this and say, oh, they're both even numbers. If I divide this one by 2 and make it 7 and take this one times 2 and make it 36, then you're working with a single digit. And you can go 210. So 7 times 30 is 210. 6 times 7 is 42, which makes 252. I'm writing it out so you can see it, but that's what you really should do in your head. All right. Now this is 252 also, but in your head you would have to go 140, 14 times 10, 140, 14 times 8 is 2, 3, 11, 1. Okay, you can see it's a lot harder. So if you see that you can make one of the numbers go down to a single digit by dividing, and the other one you can just multiply by whatever number you divided this by. It doesn't have to be 2, it can be any number. Whatever you can divide it by to get it down to a single digit, take it times the other side times that, and it'll make a simpler problem to do in your head. Now this also works out really well if you have something like this, 32 times 50. Now that one's not too hard because you can go 5 times 32 and add your 0, but you can make it even easier if you double this side and divide this side by 2. So this one comes down to 16, this one goes up to 100. Now, you can go 16 times 100, and you have a very simple math problem, 1600. So anything that's a multiple, if this would be 25, all right, then you're gonna, any multiple of 25, 50, all right, you're gonna know right away, I wanna take this times 4, get it up to 100, divide this by 4, get it down to 8 times 100, your answer is 800, all right. If you take this times this, you'll find out it's also 800, but this is much simpler. So make sure when you're multiplying though, you divide the one side and you multiply the other side by the exact same number. All right, then we have dividing mentally. And your main thing you're going to do here is divide and divide, or double and double. So if you see a problem like this, 148 divided by 18, you're going to want to reduce it or divide and divide as low as you can to make it simpler. So 144 divided by 2 is 72. This divided by 2 is 9. They can both be divided by 3 yet, actually. So divide this by 3. No, actually not. 70, you should know this. This is a fact, common fact. So 72 divided by 9 is 8. I'm not sure what I was thinking there. All right. So if they look like they're both numbers that can be divided by the same number, it doesn't have to be 2 again. It could be any number. It will often be 2, but it could be any other number. If you can divide them both by the same number and get them down to smaller numbers, usually it's much easier to figure out in your head. The other thing you're going to look for is something like, if you see something like this, 3,400 divided by 50. All right, looks like big numbers to do in your head. Well, you can double and double. So double this makes it 100. Double this makes it 6,800. Now, 6,800 divided by 100, you can do that in your head. And we have 68. So again, anything that you see a 50, or if you would see a 25 here, you could take it times 4, take it times 4, and it'll make it much simpler to do in your head. All right, let's just jump over to your lesson and do 1 or 2 real quick. Go to part C, number, let's go down number 18. So we have 50 times 74. Think. Multiple of 50, take that times 2, so it makes it 100. And then you have to divide this side by 2, and that would be 37. So 100 times 7, 37 is 3,700. All right, much simpler to do than 50 times 74. All right, let's do one on dividing yet. Just go down to 21. How about we do 21? So This is going to be a double and double, I can see already, because 1600 divided by 50. Double and double, make this 100. Double this, 32, 0, 0. And divide it by 100. Your answer will be 32. Alright, hopefully it makes sense. If not, feel free to ask any questions.